Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Heine Brothers Films. Today, we're doing our entire Universal collection, DVD collections, a couple Blu-rays in there, mainly DVDs. But let me know what we should do next. Let's get started. So, AC, you want to start off with the first Universal DVD? I guess we can. Here, I guess I can hand it to you.
Thank you.
Here.
Thank you, guys. Thank you
The
so much,
first
bro.
one.
And this the first Universal movie I have is The Princess Comes Across from 1935, and it stars the great Fred MacMurray.
Put it back.
And this is Sing You Sinners from 1938. It stars the great Bing Crosby and Fred MacMurray. What a great duo, guys. And yet again, Remember the Night. This is another great Fred MacMurray movie, and he teams up with the great Barbara Stanwyck. This is the first movie that Barbara Stanwyck and Fred MacMurray teamed up on. Great Christmas movie. You're welcome to watch it any time of the year, but this is a great Christmas movie.
I agree with AC on that one. Okay, so next up I've got Back to the Future. It has the trilogy, so 1, 2, and 3 from the 80s to the early 90s. So it was the 25th anniversary edition. So probably the first time it was on Blu-ray. Classic. So that was Back to the Future. This is the next one.
Thank you.
See.
And this is Arabian Nights from 1942.
Arabian Nights.
Holiday Inn from 1942. And this film was written, and the songs and music was written by Irving Berlin, and stars the legendary Bing Crosby and Fred Astaire.
Classic right there. Not as good as Remember the Night.
Yes, I agree.
Has some controversial
Not as
scenes.
good as His Wonderful Life though, or the Santa Claus stuff, but
Yeah.
Could be better. in
Has
my
some
opinion.
controversial stuff in there, so that's why it's not widely available on streaming. So it's always good to have a physical copy of something just in case. But next up is A Beautiful Mind from 2001, starring Russell Crowe and directed by Ron Howard. Okay, that was A Beautiful Mind. This is AC's next movie.
Okay, this is Star Spangled Rhythm. This is a movie that came out at the end of 1942. It has a lot of legendary actors. I'm going to name you a few of them now. Bing Crosby, Bob Hope, and Fred MacMurray. This is a 4-film collection of Universal, and one of the movies AJ is about to say here in a few minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is Charade from 1963, Done with Amity 1944, Pillow Talk 1959, and My Little Chickadee 1940. And I think all these films are good or decently good or so. But I was not too impressed with My Little Chickadee, which when I watched it back in 2016, thought it was pretty boring and pretty lame at the time, I shall say.
I think I've only seen 2 of the films.
Okay.
I've seen. Wait, nope. 3. Have I seen Pillow Talk? I might have watched it with
I
you.
probably watched part of it with me.
Okay. I've at least seen the top 2. Charade, which is a masterpiece, a Hitchcockian film, and a film that we'll get into in a minute. But
Yes.
haven't seen My Little Chickadee for sure.
Don't see it, guys.
Maybe you've seen parts of Pillow Talk.
But do not see My Little Chickadee. It'll waste your time.
All right, next up is The Big Lebowski from 1998.
Oh, yeah.
All right. It's a 2-pack this time.
Oh, this is a 2-pack, actually. This is The Egg and I. It stars Fred MacMurray and Claudia Colbert. And this is the first Francis the Talking Mule, and it came out in 1950. I'll be getting into more about the Francis films later on in the video. State of the Union, starring Spencer Tracy, and it was directed by the legendary Frank Capra, which Spencer Tracy also stars with Katharine Hepburn and Angela Lansbury. I highly recommend the film. It's really good. So if you guys are big Frank Capra fans, he directed a lot of great Jimmy Stewart films. Most notably, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington and It's a Wonderful Life. If you like those, go watch this.
I
That'll
haven't
be
seen
really
that
great.
one yet. But
You should, man. You
I'll
should.
watch it sometime.
Thanks.
I'll watch it sometime. Now this one, have I seen this one? Have I seen this?
You
next
you
one?
did. And I didn't think we were that impressed with it.
Probably.
But this
Probably didn't
is
like it.
Feuding, Fussing, and a Fighting from 1948. Stars Donald O'Connor and Joe Besser. Got it back in late 2015. Maybe sometime 2016. Probably 2015. Check it out, please.
Yeah, it's not a good thing, but I don't remember it. It's
Well,
probably forgettable at best. At worst,
Yeah.
probably terrible. Okay.
TCM's good, everyone.
All right. The next film is the one we mentioned earlier. Is Double Indemnity. The Double Indemnity was so good, we had to get an individual copy of it. So, Double Indemnity from 1944. One of the best film noirs of all time. By the way, check out our top 10 film noirs. One of our videos from a few months ago. Check it out. You'll see this film, spoiler, and 9 other great films as well.
It'll be all surprises, everybody.
Yep.
Well, this is The Pale Face from 1948. It stars Bob Hope. Okay, Family Honeymoon from 1949. This stars Fred MacMurray and Claudia Colbert. And this is a really great movie. And if you're a big fan of Fred MacMurray and Claudia Colbert, particularly Fred MacMurray, I recommend y'all go watch it. And it's kind of like the early Fred MacMurray of Disney, if I shall say. Kind of like his Disney persona.
Okay.
This is one of his good films.
So it's a precursor to what we'd see on My Three Sons
and
all
that's
the
my
live-action
Professor
Disney
Shaggy
films.
Dog.
Okay.
You'll see that similarity to it, guys.
There you go. He said it. I did not know that. I haven't seen it yet, but maybe one day.
Everyone, go check it out. And this is Harvey from 1950. It stars Jimmy Stewart. One of the best Jimmy Stewart movies out there, non-Western.
It's a good one.
Yes, it is, mate.
It's a good one. The depiction of mental illness is not accurate, obviously, but if you look past that, it's a decent film. For the time.
Yeah,
really...
time being.
Yep. Okay, next up is Inglourious Bastards from 2009. A great Quentin Tarantino film. That one over here. Next up.
Okay, this is Bedtime for Bonzo starring Ronald Reagan. This came out in 1951. This is the Glenn Miller story from 1954. It stars Jimmy Stewart and Louis Armstrong. This is really all about the Glenn Miller story. Glenn Miller was an orchestra player, and he's a conductor.
Yep.
So he conducts the music, everybody.
And speaking of the Glenn Miller story, this next one is not too similar movie. I haven't seen either of these, but very similar. I got this part of this is from the when we bought it.
No worries, brother.
All right, show them the film.
Okay, don't get to it.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the Benny Goodman story starring Steve Allen. Came out in 1956, and he's teamed up with Donna Reed.
Donna Reed from It's a Wonderful Life.
Yes, and she had her own show in the late 50s.
Did we already do this one? I don't think we did.
No.
Okay.
And everybody, this is There's Always Tomorrow from 1956, starring Fred MacMurray and Barbara Stanwyck. This is actually the last Fred MacMurray film that he and Barbara Stanwyck teamed up on. And yeah, this Fred MacMurray Barbara Stanwyck film is kind of like it's a mixture of the Disney persona and the mixture of Done with the Manny persona, but it's mainly like comedy drama, I shall say, but it's a mixture of Fred.
Dramedy.
More of a dramedy. Thank you, dramedy.
I got a
That's what I'm
secret to tell you
looking for.
guys. He's a big Fred MacMurray fan. So maybe one day he should do just a video on all of his Fred McMurray movies.
Yeah, good idea, guys.
Let me know if you guys want to see that or any other videos.
He did a lot of great films for Universal.
Alright, here's the next one.
Man of a Thousand Faces from 1957. It stars James Cagney.
We got another 4-pack this time.
So this is another 4-pack. Bend of the River, 1952. The Far Country, 1954. Night Passage, 1957. And The Rare Breed, 1966. Those are obviously Jimmy Stewart films. And my favorite would have to be The Far Country. And my least favorite would have to be, I'd say Bend of the River is my least favorite. But most of them are really great. And yeah, if you're big Jimmy Stewart fans on the Westerns, and he did a lot of non-Westerns too, please go check what all of these movies are, at least some of them out.
Yep. I started a Jimmy Stewart binge. I haven't finished all his films yet. But
yeah, long way back.
I got started on. I wrote a biography on his. One day, I'm not to this area. I'm like at the It's a Wonderful Life era, so I still have a bit of a way to go. But the next film, here's the next one for you.
Thank you. And this is No Name on the Bullet from 1959.
Have I seen this next one?
Probably seen at least a little bit of it with me.
Lover Come Back.
This looks pretty good. Lover Come Back? Yeah, this is Lover Come Back from 1961, starring the legendary Rock Hudson, Doris Day, Joe Flynn, and Tony Rindell. It's from 1961. Great comedy, like romantic comedy, and this is really good. They don't make movies like these anymore, so if you're a big fan of Doris Day or Rock Hudson, Tony Rindell, go check it out, guys. Okay, this is Called If a Man Answers from 1962. It stars Bobby Darin and Stephanie Powers. This is 40 Pounds of Trouble, starring Tony Curtis and Susan Pleshette. This came out at the end of 1962. The Thrill of It All from 1963. It stars James Garner and Doris Day. I thought James Garner and Doris Day were a great romantic comedy duo, and this was after James Garner was in the Maverick show for 3 years. And yeah, this is a really great romantic comedy movie, and please go check out if you're a big fan of those guys, or if you're big romantic comedy fans like me. I like comedy stuff, but really great films, guys. Okay, this is Man's Favorite Sport from 1964, starring Rock Hudson and Howard Hawks, who did a lot of westerns. Was the director of this film, and this was filmed like in late 1962. The Brass Ball from 1964 stars Tony Rindell, Bill Ives, and Barbara Eden. Nick Hale's Navy from 1964, and this is the movie of the series, but it's not a TV movie. It's like a real movie, but it stars Ernest Borgnine, Joe Flynn, and Tim Conway. And Nick Hale's Navy was actually a TV series from 1962 and 1966. Great. This is the movie's not as good as the TV show, but if you like the TV show, you're welcome to try this out. And this is Send Me No Flowers. It stars Rock Hudson, Doris Day, Tony Rindell, and Paul Lynde. This came out in 1964. And some of these Universal films were actually released on DVD back in the early 90s, so pretty good, guys. Thanks. And this is Shenandoah from 1965. It stars Jimmy Stewart, Doug McClure, and Catherine Ross. This is Thoroughly More Than Millie from 1967. It stars Mary Tyler Moore and Julie Andrews. Madigan from 1968 stars Richard Widmark and Henry Fonda. Coogan's Bluff from 1968. It stars Clint Eastwood and Susan Clark, and it was produced by Don Siegel, who produced The Shootist. And this, I saw this many years ago, and I didn't think it was that good of a Clint Eastwood film, but I think The Shootist was better than this. But if you're a big Clint Eastwood fan, and if you really want, if you're thinking about seeing it, I would not recommend it if I were you, but his westerns were better than this, though. It could be a lot better, though. And this is Angel in My Pocket from 1969. It stars Andy Griffith and Jerry Van Dyke. This came out in 1969. The director of the film was Alan Rafkin, and the people that wrote the film were James Frizzell and Everett Greenbaum, which they wrote many episodes of the Andy Griffith Show, even some Dick Van Dyke Show episodes, when they were not doing the Andy Griffith Show, and they did maybe a couple of Gomer Pyle UMC episodes. But if you're a big fan of those TV shows or of these guys or of these directors' work, I want to encourage y'all to check it out. It's so and unfortunately, this was the only Andy Griffith movie that he did with Universal, and he was originally going to sign on like a 4-picture contract, but Andy wasn't too impressed with the film, so that he canceled that plan. But his pal Don Knotts signed on a 5-year contract, which I'll get to more to that later.
Mm-hmm.
This is the Airport Collection, and these all of them came out in the 1970s. The first one was 1970. The first one was Airport in 1975. Came out the year before that. April 77. Airport 77. The Concord Airport 79.
Speaking of, we were just talking about him.
Talking about this guy. He's the bubbly Barney Fife. And Theo, and he played Theo on Apple Doubling Gang, and Ralph Farrell on Three's Company. This is your man, Don Knotts, my boy Don Knotts. This is most of his Universal films. He did quite a few of them. He did like 5 of them for 5 years. And I'll name you some now: The Ghost of Mr. Chicken, The Reluctant Astronaut, The Shakiest Gun in the West, and The Love God. My favorite would have to be The Ghost of Mr. Chicken, and I think the first Universal Don Knotts film I saw was The Shakiest Gun in the West, which was, I think it was a better version of Hot Lead and Cold Feet, to be honest with you, which he did as a Disney film, but a better version of Hot Lead and Cold Feet, to be honest with you. But he did a lot of good films, and even like actors that are still alive now, people from the last 30 years like Jim Carrey and Martin Short. They agree with me that Don Knotts is one of the best comedian actors who do comedy and does a lot of skits. Great actor, and those are great films if you're a big fan of him like me. And he's my favorite. He's one of my favorite, probably my favorite character off the Andy Griffith Show, along with Gomer and Otis.
Right. The next film is Scarface from 1983. Looks like this is the 20th anniversary. So this came out in 2003.
20 years left.
It's
40. It's 40 years later now.
Yeah. Back of it. Scarface is a classic. You need to watch it if you haven't already. Okay, now this Don Knotts movie, I don't know if I've seen this one, but they all kind of are the same.
Are very similar.
How to Frame a Fig. Have I seen this one?
The answer is maybe like a minute or two, but I don't think you've seen it. But I didn't pick for movie night during COVID. But yeah, really great. I bought this back at Walmart back in 2016, 2017, and it looked pretty good, so I gave it a watch. I knew what to expect. Pretty good movie, guys.
This definitely gives off Walmart clearance DVD bin, which unfortunately those are no longer. These are going to be extinct starting 2024. So
What do you mean by extinct?
They're not selling physical media anymore. Like Target, Best Buy, and Walmart, they're all not selling physical media.
Makes me sad though.
Which is sad, but glad that we started collecting.
Yeah, and maybe one of these days you all could borrow some of my films and we could have a great time together.
We could we can bring Blockbuster back just
We'll
from here,
bring
just in this room.
Maybe I go to the Blockbuster store in a few
We
years.
just call it something else.
Actually, maybe
Honey Brothers Films Rental. There you go.
Yeah, or Wiggle Renters. No, I'm just kidding. But this is Midway from 1976. Stars Charlton Heston, Henry Fonda, and Robert Mitchum, Robert Wagner, and Glenn Ford. Came out in 1976. First got it back in 2014. Forgot I didn't know I had it till probably several months ago. Try it out. It was alright. Thanks, man. This is the card from 1977. The Joke from 1979. It stars Steve Martin, and this is a Carl Reiner film, which Carl Reiner and his son Rob direct some of these films, and Carl Reiner was Alan Brady on the Dick Van Dyke Show, and great comedy writer, great writer in general. And this is the Best Little Whorehouse in Texas from 1982. It stars Dolly Parton, and Burt Reynolds and Jim Nabors, aka Gomer Pyle, and yeah, this is a really great film. And yeah, if you're a big fan of Dolly Parton as a singer or as an actor, just mainly a singer, but she does some great acting. Jim Nabors did some great acting too, and really good film, guys. So if y'all are bored out of your minds, or if you want to find a good movie from the early 80s, go see this now. That'll be greatly appreciated, friends.
Speaking of Steve Martin, we got another one.
This is The Lonely Guy from 1984, and it stars Steve Martin. I bought this just very recently. Tried it out a couple of days after buying it. I didn't think it was that good. Not that good of a film, to be honest with you. I would not recommend it if I were you. But and it was adaptation of Neil Simon's play. I think Neil Simon did a play of it, which he has a lot of plays in like Broadway and other stuff. But yeah, I don't recommend it, everybody.
All right. The next film we have is 16 Candles from 1983.
Great film, guys.
One of the best teen dramas, teen comedies.
Yes.
From the 1980s. One of the best Brat Pack films. Probably the second best.
Yeah, I think Gremlins came out at the same time. Those and Gremlins were probably the best movies of 84.
Oh, it was 84? Okay.
Yes.
84. Breakfast Club's best Brat Pack film. This is number 2. I would recommend seeing this. These are really the only two that I really enjoy out of the Brat Pack era of films, but check it out. Okay, my next film is going to be Fletch from 1985, starring the great Chevy Chase, a solid comedy on his historical run. Dragnet from 87. Yeah, forgettable.
It's not too much to me, but maybe to you, AJ.
To me, yeah. It's not terrible, but it's not great either.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Yep, and it was originally they did a lot of Dragnets in the 50s and 60s, and they did one in the early 50s with Jack Webb, and then they revived it again in the late 60s through 1970 with Jack Webb and Harry Morgan. Harry Morgan reprised his role as Officer Bill Gannon, and the Dragnet movie from the late 80s. Him and Jack Webb were actually going to start doing a new Dragnet TV series in 1982, 1983. But they got canceled because 1, Jack Webb passed away, and 2, Harry Morgan was too busy with MASH, and it's MASH spin-off after MASH. And I think they could have done it, but too much going on with Harry Morgan's acting career and Jack Webb dying made the obvious was not going to happen. But anyway, let's move on. This is the Dream Team from 1989, starring Michael Keane, Christopher Lloyd, and Peter Boyle. Dad from 1989, starring Jack Lemmon.
This next film is a 2-pack. I've only seen one of the films on here.
Yes.
But got a 2-pack of 2 supposed John Candy classics. Uncle Buck is a John Candy classic. The Great Outdoors, I haven't seen it, so I'm just saying.
I thought you've seen it before.
I haven't seen The Great Outdoors.
I thought you
At least I don't remember seeing it. But this is a
Uncle Buck's good, guys.
good film.
Yes.
2-pack of 2 of John Candy's most notorious roles. Yeah, another pack coming up. This time a 4-pack. We've got AC.
Well, guys, here we go. Now we have Pure Luck from 1991. It stars Martin Short and Danny Glover, which I thought Martin Short and Danny Glover were a great duo team together. Not as good as Steve Mine and Martin Short, but that Universal made it work. I think Danny Glover did a great job being Martin Short's duo partner for this one, and this is probably one of my favorite Martin Short films outside of Santa Claus 3 and other films that he has done over the years. King Ralph from 1988, starring John Goodman from Roseanne, came out in 1988. Ghost Dad, Bill Cosby, 1989. For Rich or Poor in 1997, starring Tim Allen. And Pure Luck and For Rich or Poor are really good. The other 2, not so much. This is Radioland Murders from 1994. Sergeant Bilko, 1996. It stars Steve Martin, Dan Aykroyd, and Chris Rock. And I already did this one. For Rich or Poor from 1997.
It was so good, AC, he had to get an individual.
Well, and I didn't even know that I was gonna. By the way, 10 years ago, I realized I'll be getting a copy of For Rich or Poor and Pure Luck. But I was really grateful that I got 2 of them. I didn't know I was gonna get 2 of them, but I'm really grateful just in case one didn't work, which very thankful they both still work. But anyway, The Story of Us from 1999. And it stars Bruce Willis. It's actually a Rob Reiner film. This is The Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle from 2000. It stars Rene Russo, Jason Alexander, and Robert De Niro. This is alright. This is a good film. It also has cameos from Jonathan Winters and John Goodman as well. This is Bruce Almighty from 2003. It stars Jim Carrey, Morgan Freeman, Jennifer Aniston, and Steve Carell. This came out in 2003. Can't believe it's been 20 years ago since it came out.
Wow.
This is my favorite Jim Carrey movie of all time. If you're a big fan of his, I want y'all to go check this movie out. It's really good. Jim Carrey's now retired for about a year now, sadly, but if you want to go get some throwbacks like AJ and I, go see this right now if you haven't.
Alright, so this next film is not that good of a comedy, but some people love it for nostalgia. Kicking and Screaming, starring Will Ferrell.
Yeah, Mr. Mosby, Phil Lewis, who played Mr. Mosby, has a minor role in that film.
Yep, little cameo appearance.
Yep, so that's why I like it, because of him and Will Ferrell. This is The Perfect Man from, let's say, 2005. It stars Hilary Duff and Mike O'Malley from the Yes Dear show, which Yes Dear was a show from the early 2000s. Good Shepherd from 2006. It stars Robert De Niro, Matt Damon, Alec Baldwin, and a little cameo from Joe Pesci. I wish Joe Pesci would have had more screen time, to be honest with you. Georgia Rule from 2007. It stars Jane Fonda, Lindsay Lohan, and Dermot Mulroney. Came out in 2007. This was one of Lindsay Lohan's one of the first films that she did after her era of being in Disney films. And this was pretty good. And if you want to try something different with Lindsay Lohan, not with a her Disney era. This is a great start, guys. Really, great start. I pronouncing Chuck and Larry, 2007, and this is the Happy Madison film, and stars Kevin James, Dan Aykroyd, and Adam Sandler. One of the best Adam Sandler movies ever. This is Burned After Reading from 2008. It stars George Clooney and Brad Pitt. This is Flash of Genius.
Flash of Genius.
Flash of Genius from 2008.
All right. Next up, we've got Cowboys and Aliens from 2011. The worst Jon Favreau directed film. So forgettable.
Buck Taylor's also in that.
Right.
This is Tower Heist from 2011.
Tower Heist.
Tower Heist from 2011. It stars Ben Stiller, Eddie Murphy, Matthew Broderick, and Alan Alda. A Million Ways to Die in the West from 2014. It stars Owen Wilson and Neil Patrick Harris. The Fate of the Furious from 2015. It stars The Rock, Kurt Russell, and a cameo from Ronda Rousey, who's a WWE Women's Divas wrestler. I think she came out of retirement in the last few years, but really great film, everybody. Hopefully they make more of these with The Rock and Kurt Russell. I hope so.
The rest of these are compilations, so here we go.
Thank you. This is the Francis the Talking Meal compilation. Has all the 7 films. And let me get started. We already did Francis the Talking Meal. Francis Goes to the Races, 1951. Francis Goes to West Point, 1952. Francis Covers the Big Town, 1953. Francis Joins the Wax, 1954. Francis in the Navy, 1955. Francis in the Haunted House, 1956. And this is the first 4 Abbott and Costello films, and it's between 1940 and 1941. One Night in the Tropics, Buck Private, in the Navy, and Hold That Ghost. And 3 out of the 4 of these films had Shemp Howard having a minor role in those films, and this was before Shemp rejoined the Three Stooges years later. These are films in late 1941, early 1942. Keep Them Fine, Ride Them Cowboy, Pardon My Sarong, and Who Done It. Hey, Hit the Ice and Society, and Here Come the Co-Eds. The 1990s, Little Giant, The Time of Their Lives, Buck Privates Come Home. The Wistful Widow of Wagon Gap, and Abbott and Costello meets Frankenstein, Mexican Hayride. Abbott and Costello meet the Killer, Boris Karloff. Abbott and Costello in the Foreign Legion. Abbott and Costello and meet the Invisible Man. Coming Around the Mountain, Lost in Alaska. This is the last 4 films of Abbott and Costello's comedy duo career, acting career. Abbott and Costello go to Mars. Abbott and Costello meet Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Abbott and Costello meet the Keystone Cops. And lastly, Abbott and Costello meet the Mummy. And this the second film was not that good of a film, to be honest with you. And yeah, if you're big Abbott and Costello fans, I recommend you go watch some of them. Thanks, AJ. And this is the Bing Crosby compilation, and this was films he did in the 1930s and 1940s. Wild Coyote Wedding, Double or Nothing, East Side of Heaven, If I Had My Way, and Here Come the Waves. This is Birth of the Blues, Blue Skies. Nothing but blue skies from now on. This is the Ma and Pa Kettle film collection. The Egg and I, Ma and Pa Kettle, Ma and Pa Kettle go to town, Ma and Pa Kettle back on the farm, Ma and Pa Kettle at the fair, Ma and Pa Kettle on vacation, Ma and Pa Kettle at home, Ma and Pa Kettle at Wakakia, the Kettles in the Ozarks, the Kettles on Old McDonald's farm, E-I-E-I-O.
Right, this is our last movie, and then we will sign off.
Yes, it
It's
is.
everything, yeah.
Yeah, this is the Canyon Passage, the Man from the Alamo, thank you. The War Arrow, the Lawless Breed, the Redhead from Wyoming, Seminole, Gun for a Coward, and Quantes, and these star a lot of great Hollywood actors who did all sorts of comedy things, and surprisingly no John Wayne's films, but yeah, it has Fred McMurray and two of them, Glenn Ford and some of them, and Rock Hudson and another one. We actually have some John Wayne Universal stuff.
Oh, we do?
We have a few.
I will grab them real quick.
Okay, this is Reap the Wild Wind from 1942. And that's not, I didn't think it was that good, to be honest with you. And I highly don't recommend y'all see it, but if you want to find John Wayne, you can go see him and some other good ones. But this is one of his movies that I don't recommend. So yeah, don't watch it, guys. Rio Grande from 1955.
Rio Grande.
Right, I talk differently than he does. But yeah, anyway, The War Wagon from 1967. Hellfire's 1968, and is directed by Andrew V. McLagan. Andrew McLagan directed a lot of westerns at the time. He even directed some
Jimmy Stewart films, right?
Yes, and he directed a lot of Gunsmoke episodes. So if you think some of the Gunsmoke episodes are a lot like the John Wayne or Jimmy Stewart films, that's why. Because same director and just some similarities to it. And James Arness too. He's on the Gunsmoke.
It's our last movie for sure.
Last movie, everybody.
Sure.
This is Rooster Cogburn from 1975. This was John Wayne's second to last film that he did in his acting career.
All right, everybody. I just want to say thank you for enjoying the video, and let us know, what should the Heine brothers do next on the channel. Let us know in the comments below, and keep going and growing. And see you guys.
See you guys. Bye-bye.